Ever been used by a woman for your money? That hurts. Ever been used by an angry black man for your connections and not given the inward pass? I'd be pissed. And who wouldn't crash out on a Jedi daycare after that? Especially when edamame head ass made the varsity team before the chosen one. My God, he killed Count Dookie and treated it like he cheated on a low-carb diet with a slice of cheesecake.
I shouldn't have done that. It's not the Jedi way.
But he was just getting his lick back for Count Dookie making him the Winter Soldier. He slaughtered a village of alien nomads that sound like a deaf guy stubbing his toe. But they killed his mama. Who ain't sliding on that hood of death splinter cells? When you look at everything Anakin did, you gotta see it from his side, baby. It makes more sense than it doesn't. Let's start with the political side. Clone Wars Anakin is just a puppet for the Jedi Council to spy on Padme. So you're telling me, if it's Chilia, my boy, can't reach into that sports bra and use those twin balconies as a couple of hand warmers? It's cold out there. Let the boy eat. He can't reach into the cookie jar and get him a sweet treat because of some vow he made to a couple of dusty monks who are using him for their gain? And he's in the mountains of Italy with prime Natalie Portman sharing pears? Nah, dude, if it's me, you best believe I'm getting breastfed by a senator when I get tucked into my silk sheets 7 days a week. Then in Revenge of the Sith, they reject him from the council after he had basically become a one-man SEAL Team 6 for the Republic. And y'all are mad when a war hero is rejected by some washed-up Buddhist after being more decorated, more skilled, and more down-to-earth than any of them combined. And they say that he's not ready because he got a little pissy whenever they rejected his deserved promotion and Mace Windy is acting like Joe Budden with Lil Yachty. And then you send him on a mission to get close to Palpadiddy. You're mad when he gets a little tender love and care that you never gave him in Uncle Obi's foster care. And you're surprised when he switches teams because he had to make a rash decision because Sam Jack was going full police brutality on Joe Biden. That's like shooting a cop for trying to shoot the gay old man outside the 7-Eleven. That's a tough decision. Who am I going to drink a Four Loko with and talk politics if I stand by and let this tragedy unfold? It's a toss-up for anybody. Now, he got a little power hungry on that volcano. I'll be honest. It was a little out of character. But we all learn ourselves when we haven't had Snickers in a while, and it's hot out there. He was probably just cranky and missed some back scratches from his baby mama, you know? So the politics are justified. Now let's talk about foster care Papi Obi-Wan and his relationship and his stepdaddy issues. Obi wannabe daddy did a lot of good parenting techniques I think everyone should use, like constant helicoptering over every mistake, holding him to an unreachable standard while making him long for your approval, gaslighting him into thinking that they're friends, only to not have his back when upper management doesn't want to promote him. Also, never validating his feelings of frustration from the council and acting like Anakin is the one who needs to be mature. And instead of stepping in and being dad in that moment that he needed him, he's a man of the company. Not to mention, he pulled the old, I gotta get some milk from the store trick, just to come back 6 months later and fight his son in the front lawn. So Anakin's actually a pretty chill guy for how uptight his papa was. I think he kept his cool, all things considered. Now let's get into some controversies. The Chris Brown allegations are hard to beat, and I know it was caught on film. But it's a lot of he said, she said. We don't know what actually was going on behind the scenes. And I'll be honest, I'm not here to victim blame. But Padme is kind of a bitch sometimes. Listen, imagine you're working late, and your pregnant hormonal wife shows up as you and your buddy just cracked a cold one after a double shift in the parking lot. And before you take that first sip, your girl shows up saying things like, you didn't even text me. Do you even love me? Is this what you've been doing all day? And asking why your dad is mad at you, only to see your dad pop out of the trunk in his Sunday best. And he's here to fistfight you behind the Denny's after he vented to your baby mama about you allegedly head-kicking 20 kids in your karate class. Yeah, you're starting to see it a little differently, aren't we? I'm not saying you should force choke your hormonal, irrational, dramatic, nagging wife, but if you lived a day in the shoes of the GOAT, would you cast the first stone? Then after a heated argument, he gets starched by his stepdad at his job, he steals his beers, and then finds out his baby mama overdosed on dramatic heartbreak because it was probably laced with And his dorky ass stepdad just got custody of the kids. So yeah, start putting some respect on Annie's name. And say it with your chest. And hey, while we're at it, let's talk about Hayden, okay? Hayden Christensen, the man. Y'all made this man's life hell for 20 years. Finally figured out that he's our generation's Keanu Reeves and deserves none of the shenanigans y'all put him through. I'm not saying that he needs an Oscar, but y'all acted like Keanu Reeves, Paul Walker, Vin Diesel, and a lot of other dudes didn't have a rough delivery on a few lines in their career, okay?
I said forget about it, cuz.
And they didn't get any of the same treatment. And George Lucas said he nailed the delivery. So, hate on Lucas. He's the one that sold it to Disney too. If y'all don't like the delivery, fine. But that's not his fault. He's playing a character and he's being directed. I'm just glad he's finally getting some love the GOAT deserved. Y'all never deserved him, man. Man, you Star Wars fans are like a toxic, pregnant, hormonal wife that always wants to start something at work. Man, if y'all need more reasons than that to be convinced of who's the GOAT, I ain't no hope for y'all. I'm out.